That festive weekend feeling already upon us here. It's mid-morning Friday as we soldier through round 2 of competition here. You're joining us at the Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona. 2 outstanding athletes, Jack Freestone, a former world junior champion and a finalist here this time last year in Brazil, takes on the exciting rookie talent from Europe, Frederico Morais, proudly representing Portugal in his first year on tour. Good morning to you. I'm Gig Cilliers alongside Peter Mel. Pete, conditions holding steady, wind, light variables. It's holding in here for us on this day of competition.
It sure is, and the sun is out. Bluebird conditions is exactly what we love surfing in. I heard that the water has warmed up slightly as we got some action underway. This was happening during the break. Frederico Morais, who is amazing on his forehand, so quick in transition, such beautiful big turns, and the pride of Portugal now, as Portugal has been putting some great surfers into the championship tour, and Frederico being one of them. Also picking up a ride, Jack Freestone, a little bigger wave, sees that this one's going to have an inside double up section. Does he have an air in it? Alley-oop attempt. Wow, lands on the layback, but can he pull it off? Doesn't look like it, especially with that backwash.
Well, a 6.0 by 19 by 2 3/8. It's going to end up around the 29 and some loose change volume as well, Pete? Just having a look at that digits there. Jack Freestone in motion for us again. Nice sequence there, stitching it together, beautiful flow, repeating on the right-hander here. Lots of sweep in the ocean, left to right across screen. So this right-hander is taking its shape and form through the low tide now. We do see a tide turn upon us. In fact, we've just gone through the tide turn a few minutes back. As you join us here in the second to last heat of round 2 this morning, we are soldiering on with women's round 2 as well. We'll talk more about that. Freestone on the forehand here, Pete.
Again, trying to back that up, that performance from last year. Has been putting it together, has been figuring out this championship tour.
Now, Frederico, no stranger to dumpy beach breaks, having spent that junior career growing up in Portugal, and many other young talented surfers working on the qualifying series.
Let's take a look at Jack on this replay here. This time picking up a wave that broke on the inside sandbank. A little cleaner line. Again, see how smooth he is. Going top to bottom. Nothing super dynamic, but good flow. As we see this, again, a little different. A little bigger wave, so this wave breaks on the outside and he has to catch the reform. But again, goes into this rip bowl section and it steepens up. This combo here is what exactly got him into the finals and that runner-up position at the Hawaiian Pro during the Vans Triple Crown.
Well, someone who knows their equipment well is this man, Jack Freestone. Nice click, beautiful rotation in the top of the lip. Now, open face carve. It's a medium-sized wave. We've seen both of them pick on these smaller waves now in their selection. And that's a nice junction squared off turn for Freestone. So methodical, working well. The Brazilian backwash playing its part in the theme here in Saquarema this morning again.
Well, either Jack or Freestone, in the conversations we've had with him, he's been mentioning the fact that the backwash playing a major role in his surfing out here. He's been feeling it for sure. Take a look at the replay here again, making the choice on a smaller wave that's going to give him more opportunity with open face. You know, the wave's not going to shut down as quickly, so he can get more maneuvers in. Again, carrying a ton of speed.
I've been getting scores easily, but just not kind of putting whole heats together. So that's kind of where I'm trying to put my energy at the moment.
Thanks for your time, Ace. We'll see you in round 3.
Cheers, Strider. Thank you.
Thanks so much as Ace Buchan moves through to round 3. You're joining us with round 2, heat 11, and Frederico Morais, the talented European surfer. The tall man hacks it away here. Right-hander with some nice rail leverage. Keeps it flowing. That's a very complete roundhouse cutback. A little junction on the inside to hit. And he'll wrap that up. Fourth ride now being executed by Frederico Morais. And a nice pace to that one, Pete.
Absolutely. You know, and those bigger, you know, more accentuated turns always turns the judges on. He did that, you know, especially when you talk about the speed he carried through that roundhouse. You know, and then the rebound off the foam too. So all of that stuff comes into play here when you keep that speed moving through. Full direction changes on the board. You see, sets this next section up with a lot of speed. Big snap combo again. This is where he just is so good on his forehand. Look at this, just wraps it all the way around. Again, in those cutbacks, you get that the board up on edge, up almost to 90 degrees, and that means commitment in the turn.
And quite a few thousand of them on their way down to the beach here. Festive weekend vibe already upon us as Jack Freestone does what he does, but that'll be an incomplete. We saw his intentions early on, Pete, already going to the air on one of his very first rides. Well, he also beat Medina in the semi-finals this time last year, took out Pupo as well. So a great run through the draw. Meanwhile, while we're away, Frederico Morais keeps building, Pete.
He is. He's utilizing that right. Very consistent. Waves come into that zone each and every heat. You're going to get opportunities. He's been sticking to it. Very comfortable on his forehand. And also Freestone. You see these waves creasing on the outside. Not a whole lot of opportunity until you start to go into that channel section where you start to see the water moving out. It steepens up. So another mid-range ride for Frederico as well for Jack Freestone. So this is a very close battle.
Frederico running on a 13.73 average heat score. Jack Freestone running on a 12.07. But as Potts says, don't look at the numbers, look at each heat in its entirety. This is what Jack Freestone will be doing, focusing here. Big hit, lovely hack. That was solid, committed, and well, posting a big score for the judges to think about. And well, Frederico Morais has not disappointed as he has merged as the new flag bearer for Portugal, taking over from Tiago Perez. Here's that replay. What are you thinking of this end section hit here, Pete?
Well, exactly. He carries a ton of speed. See how it doubled up and then had the backwash hit it right after he completed the maneuver. So he anticipated that he needed to attack it right away, and it's enough. Got himself the score. 7-point
ride from Jack Freestone, sees the heat seesaw. It's a close affair here. Frederico Morais now bumps down a second, looking for a 6.28. But he wildcarded back in Peniche in Portugal, 2015. We'll talk more about Frederico Morais because we'll lock on now to Jack Freestone. A little in and out for him. What's he doing there, Pete? He's just kind of keeping busy. Second wave of the set, though, is going to draw on the bank here. Frederico, let's see what he's got for us. Big squared hit. Lovely control as he exits the lip. Now, sections ahead. Wrapping turn. Links the bottom turn. Nice little check snap in the pocket. Holds through the backwash. Another little click. And what's on the end for us? Another big rotation. So steep carve, great comeback answer to the requirements of a 6.28.
Exactly, and he did a lot of the quality maneuvers on that first section. Again, hasn't been happening very often. But I think you're asking about what Jack was doing, but there's a lot of current on that section, so you got to stay inside as you watch him up and riding again.
Well, he's repositioned with that current, Pete, and here he goes. Squared turn, beautiful, weightless drop. So lots for the judges to consider with this exchange now owed to us by the panel. Morais with a whole sequence of moves. Jack Freestone weightless off the lip.
Again, all that current pulling out, it's one of those things where you got to keep catching waves or else you get pulled out to sea. Great anticipation of the backwash there. You see how he almost got to the lip and then stayed there anticipating the whitewash or the backwash to hit up, and then he kind of rides off the section. So again, connection with the lip for Frederico on that outside section. It flattens out, he keeps the speed down into this inside section and then goes to town. Again, anticipating that backwash. You see it coming at you, and rather than try and do a maneuver during that period, you go over the top of it and then do the maneuver. It's a nice anticipation of all of it.
And here those numbers locking in, a 7.67 for Frederico Morais. We'll wait for a number for Jack Freestone as well, still owed a score. In the meantime, on paper, Frederico Morais bumps up into the lead.
It's fun to watch.
Freestone will show interest, and the priority will be used by Frederico Morais. Now, there are more waves in the set, so we'll lock into the Portuguese surfer here. As he gets a second maneuver, little bowl through to the inside. He's left the door open for Freestone, and he's going to go incomplete looking for progression. Now, progression is how Freestone often puts his numbers together. Around the section, surfing through the final horn, flat drop there. Freestone will do the...
selling it. Definitely selling it. He liked it.
Doing the salesman.
You look at what his scores were previous, and that's where he starts to do the comparisons. You know, really it comes down to, was that wave as quality as Frederico Morais? Take a look at the replay here. He does get the outside move. You know, again, he kind of had to cut it short. He wasn't able to really kind of go top to bottom with it because that section was going to run off. He did get the connection with the final move, but my gut says that it's probably not going to be enough. This one won't change anything for Frederico because of the mistake on the inside. You know, he had this quick rhythm and snaps, but trying to fit it in, and then here trying to go for the air, but doesn't pull it off, so that's not going to factor in. You know, was that wave of Jack's good enough? My feeling says, again, probably going to come up short.
Okay, last wave of blue. Last of blue. Surfing blue needs a 7.41. Last of blue was a 5.83.
Right, 5.83. It's official from the panel. Frederico Morais gets the win over Jack Freestone and moves into round 3.